Brody Boyce. Number 3, Connor Hanson. Number 4, Jordan Hall. Number 5, Jacob Trapp. Number 8, Cameron McGliff. Number 10, Joe Guess. Number 11, Adam Duratovic. Number 14, Kingsley Sinclair. Number 22, Matthew Dench. Number 47, Asad Kasumovic. Substitutes for Oakleigh, Lachlan Hart. Ajak Dale, Luke Masniak. Number 23, Tom Azaganagos. Number 7, Pierce Waring. Number 6, Noah Holmes. And number 9, Alex Savin. To the home team, number 1, Jamie Young. Number 10, Daniel Clark. Number 9, Wade Decker. Number 8, Aiden Edwards. Number 8, Kyle Taylor. Number 4, Stephanie Ismaili. Number 5, Betsy Mametti. Number 12, Jay Romanovsky. Number 11, Ali Suleimani. Number 7, Yuki Uchida. Number 16, Tice Van Ogden. Number 32, number 1, Jenny Young. Substitutes for Dandenong Thunder. Number 18, Michael Domfey. Dante Good. Manuel Odware. Number 32, Lachlan Yang. Hope you enjoy the game and go down on Thunder.
Bob, can you repeat that, please? I missed one. Bob, who was on the bench? I missed it. I don't know. Anyone complain?
good evening, wherever you're watching in Victoria, across the country, or indeed around the world. Welcome back to George Andrews Reserve and welcome back to NPL Victoria for an all-important clash between two sides hunting a top 4 finish and hunting some finals football. The Thunder return home, having earned a point on the road in Avondale, ending a month of travelling, which now sees them 8 points from the top of the tree, 11 after Heidelberg's win earlier today. Title hopes had perhaps hinged on a joyous June as they come to July and the start of the run-in, looking to tighten their grip on third. Home has been a happy hunting ground this campaign, unbeaten on their own special patch in the league, one of 3 sides to do so at their own place, with only the top 2 having more points at home this season. Oakleigh venture to the southeast knowing a win would take them above Dandenong Thunder into third. The Cannons were firing on all cylinders last Friday, a first half blitz including being 3 up inside the opening 10 minutes, blowing away Preston. That win was a remedy to a frustrating fortnight where they lost 2 in a row. On their travels this season, Oakleigh had won 6 in a row until back-to-back defeats. Tonight poses a chance to snap a small blip in a very big way. They have
Mehmeti, Thijs van Amerongen and Jay Romanovsky completing that back 4. Kyle Taylor will be ahead of them in midfield alongside Aidan Edwards and Ali Soleimani. Daniel Clark will be in the front 3 alongside Wade Decker and Yuki Yoshida. Wade Decker, perhaps one to watch, was a long-time Oakleigh Cannon. And for Oakleigh, we know what this team are like. They don't make many changes. They have an 11 and they stick to it, and that's why they've been so good over so many years. They do have a new goalkeeper in though. Jack Warshawski will make his second appearance for the club. Be a back 4 of Connor Hampson, Jordan Hall, Jacob Tratt and Brodie Boyce. Ahead of them, former Thunderman Cam McGilt will help anchor the midfield. Ahead of him will be Joe Guest. And most likely, Kingsley Sinclair with Hugh Dench taking a spot on the left with Asad Kasumovic up there, Adam Juratovic part of that front 3 as well. Very versatile squads, these two. Players who can play multiple positions, but let's see how those lineups shake out.
Joe Guest one to watch. He scored in each of his last 5 appearances against the Thunder. Daniel Clark celebrated his 200th start last week at Avondale, but with a spot for third, an all-important spot on the line. These two head to the southeast once again here at George Andrews. This fixture rich in history, rich in quality. Another chapter is about to be penned as Dandenong Thunder get things underway. Known for their fast starts at home. Let's see if we might have another one tonight. Mehmeti. Quickly for Van Amerongen. They're just going to work Oakleigh around early. Spearing, searching ball towards Clark. He's one up, it might fall for Romanovsky. Shawski quickly off his line to gather it up. Him, of course, a former Central Coast Mariner. Yeah.
Part of the A-League men's squad last season, couldn't really get a look in. Great Cullen had the gloves there, but capable keeper, he's been on the books at Western Sydney too. South of where he's used to in Victoria, but to make a claim with the gloves. Fast starts that Dandenong Thunder are accustomed to. Of course, you saw one of the very best of them against Preston, who Oakleigh called last week. It's one of the best of times against these two clubs. Trickle out of play in front of Brodie Boyce.
I was about to say, both of these teams have hit Preston with a quick start. Well, we see another tonight. Two sides will love to score early. Boyce's throat. Juratovic doing battle with Mehmeti. Yoshida couldn't quite get in. Romanovsky's throw. Oakleigh themselves have been good on their travels this year. Similar to the Thunder's home record, only the top 2 have more points on the road than the Cannons. As Guest wriggles away from Yoshida. And of course some early discomfort. Hampson. What a space afforded. Soleimani then went to close. Not beaten beyond Edwards. Yoshida around the corner for Clark. Brought down by McGill. The Dandenong Thunder will have the game's first free kick. You can feel the importance of tonight. You can feel the importance in this ground and out there on the pitch at the moment. Both of these teams playing at a very, very high octane to start this one.
Absolutely. Two players, Cam McGill and Daniel Clark, who know both of these clubs inside and out. They've had one season here back in 2022. Clark one season here. Both of them longer tenured in Oakleigh. It's always a good night at the Thunder when the Norwich City grandstand is full and overflowing, and that's what we've got tonight. He's getting in ahead of Guest. It's sent forward towards Clark. Sure, we should be able to watch that one all the way. Watching a while, then sends it into touch. He's one I'm interested to see how he gets on, Jack Warshawski. Romanowski combined with Kyle Taylor. 4 from the number 8, who then lost it. Guest to the open left. Connor Hampson, a couple of Curzon Ashton alumni working together there. And lifted over the top. Juratovic. Sudovic. Always on his bike around him. Fed back towards Kusunovic, who got rid of his man, sent it in low, and turned behind by Soleimani at the back post. A dangerous delivery. Oakleigh couldn't quite make more off.
Kyle Taylor slipped, just invited the ball in. Soleimani was taking no chances. He knew he had a man lurking behind him. Guest was roaming, looking to see if he could add another against the Thunder and get Oakleigh off to the perfect start. They will instead have a corner. And it's packed, it's fizzed in towards the near post. Tried to flick on, not quite what he had in mind. Taylor went down the line for Clark. Mehmeti happy to hook it away and clear his lines. Thunder can't quite settle. Yoshida giving chase. All happy to give it away, only as far as Romanowski. Now Decker tried to work it into the channel for Yoshida, but it will trickle out of play. Oakleigh wanting to settle into this game early, wanting to get Thunder on the back foot as soon as possible. If they are to win tonight, it'll be the first time they've done a league double over the Thunder since 2023. Also in Oakleigh, the last time they won in the league at George Andrews. Guest tried a searching ball, Soleimani cut it out. And then got his way beyond one, found Clark down the line. Yoshida is going inside for him. Clark had trap for company. Soleimani, Edwards, Van Amerongen, Mehmeti scored a winner at South Melbourne a couple of weeks ago on a chilly Sunday at the lakeside.
Scored more goals this season than what he started the year with. Those who've been watching from him for a while, you wouldn't have thought that Mercer Mehmeti would turn into a goal scoring, but that's what he's been.
Helped them pick up an all-important 3 points on that particular evening. Here's Taylor. Looking for an option to break down this Oakleigh block. Mehmeti, Van Amerongen. It's Miley. Feature of Thunder's play, happy to take their time, knock it around the 3. That's a searching ball and a beautiful one for Decker, who's able to take on the turn. Down the line for Romanowski, who's got Boyce for company. Romanowski tried to whip one in. Important block made. Kusunovic came across to provide some aid, and then in hooking his clearance, hit Romanowski. But Oakleigh getting the all-important numbers behind so far. Tried to hit Dandenong Thunder with a fast start.
Just want to mention too quickly about man in the middle tonight, Tom Fell, Englishman from Derbyshire, who's been spending a bit of time in Queensland as well, so he's travelled down south through a couple of state borders to referee this one. to have him. He's a Derby County fan, so no one's perfect. There's the early knock on the referee. It's nothing to do with what he's done out in the middle.
Another man travelling south of the Murray. Wachowski, that clearance. Not quite gaining Oakleigh as much ground as they would have liked. Down the line. Van Amerongen there to mop it up. Immediately turned home to find Jamie Young. Cannons look to press high. Van Amerongen. That's a searching ball. Clark has timed his run. The flag has stayed down. It's Daniel Clark. Had options waiting on him. Went alone. And the Thunder go in front. Route 1. Van Amerongen's ball of beauty. Clark timed it to perfection. And Oakleigh, having tried to apply some early pressure, are hit in the most direct way possible.
Right through the heart of the defence. Brilliant ball from Van Amerongen. He's so good defensively, but that's probably the best ball he's played all season. He's played a number of them. Great run from Clark. He called it well, timed his run to perfection, and then had the composure and the awareness to check. Didn't blaze away, didn't see his name in lights, showed the bit of composure that he needed, and then fired it past Wachowski. There's nothing he could really do about it. Good start for the Thunder. The Cannons with questions to answer early.
Having celebrated game 200 last week, Clark hits his 6th of the season this week and gives the Thunder an all-important early lead. They now get to pose of Oakleigh. What have you got? The Cannons not having the start on this ground they would have wanted. Soleimani down the line. Clark's flick on. Yoshida hot on the press. Boyce, who's got room to move into. Waiting on his options down the line. Sinclair was inside for him. Jordan Hall. Well, back wide for Boyce, who had Guest, who's drifted into that furthest channel. He's met by Romanovsky. Guest tried to tease one inside, but it'll find its way all the back into Jamie Young's palms.
Experienced goalkeeper Jamie Young. There was a bit made about his signing when he signed pre-season. There were tenuous links. I don't know how much there was into it of maybe a move for Jamie Young to Oakleigh that was mentioned. Not sure if that was anyway down the line, but how different would this game be if Jamie Young was at the other end, tending the other goal? Taylor going in once, twice, thrice, and winning it. Sheeda outside of the foot for Clark, who is the wrong side of that Cannons defensive line. And he is not the only one to disagree.
His run on that occasion not timed quite as well as it was for the opening goal. Oakleigh line standing firm.
And that's the solidity of a Chris Taylor coach team, isn't it? Okay, they've been breached early on, but they usually find a way to get back into shape quickly. As off after this is Guest. Sterling season for him. He's got 10 assists and 13 goals. He's got a double-double, if we want to borrow the term from basketball. Surely in gold medal calculations, he's already had that around his neck in his career. Wouldn't be surprised if he wins another once this campaign is run and done. Trats. Across for Kingsley Sinclair. Heavy touch. And they come unstuck in midfield, the Cannons. Taylor, options left and options right. Rolls it for Decker, who gives it him back. It's Cal Taylor inside the D. Closed off. No call. There were immediate shouts from everyone wearing red and black, not least in the stands, but nothing doing, according to our referee from Queensland.
Could hear the appeals waved away. Taylor was just trying to turn his way out of a tricky situation. Decker tried to play it smart and roll it back to him. Shorski went long, Soleimani went flying in. And it's broken for Dench. And Oakleigh, all of a sudden, have an opening. Kasumovic tried to work it through, but Dandenong Thunder regrouped to form a wall around the edge of the area. Romanovsky hooks it away. Ball Here to start things again. McGill. Boyce. Sinclair tried the return, but it was too heavy. And that is where they might see some frustration tonight. The Cannons, if they can't break through those Thunder lines. And you saw it just there for the first time, really. The return ball, a fraction too heavy.
Yeah, and you look at the Thunder back line, one of the reasons they've improved so much from recent years is their defence, due in large part to Thijs van Amerongen, who's been exceptional. But they've got plenty of time and plenty of talent, so you think that they have at least a couple of opportunities to break the Thunder back line down. They almost did, of course, with that crossing from the right that didn't quite work out.
Van Amerongen for Jamie Young. Thunder, with that opening goal, can afford to just take a bit of sting out of the game. Young, that's a searching ball for Yoshida, who immediately had track for company and got rid of him. That's a searching ball for Clark. But it just had too much on it. Wachowski read that well. Came off his line quickly. Put it on for McGill. But that is where the thread is possessed. Yoshida quickly away. And he had the Thunder in. McGill, this time trying to work a ball into the channel of his own for Taratovic, who just started in an offside position and didn't quite time that return as well. Mehmeti. There's a quick 1-2 with Van Amerongen. Again, Thunder being patient in possession. Trying to draw the Oakleigh press, open up room for Taylor. And Yoshida in the pocket. Stecker's now dropped in to provide support. Mehmeti finds him. Heavy touch through Gueston. He got away from him and won a free kick.
Yeah, just waiting for the advantage there. That was a clear foul. It'll be interesting to see how Chris Taylor plays this. Of course, he's known plenty of footballing adversity, so going 1 goal down in a game away at George Andrews is nothing he hasn't handled before. Of course, he will have gone down 1-0 at George Andrews a number of times while in the Thunder dugout, of course. Led the Thunder to quite wonderful moments in their history. 2012 grand final against Oakleigh. So he was revered here for many years and then took his talents to the Cannons, and it's the same there too. Guest had Decker on his back and he went over under his pressure. You've just got the feeling that there's going to be some spot fires anywhere you look tonight, particularly given the crossover. Not seen any yet, but starting to brew somewhat. Boyce, holding in field. Sinclair looking forward, going over. Sadam Taratovic. No decision there for him. And Minovsky got up. And it skipped off his shin and away. Play for an Oakleigh throw.
This game has fallen a little bit scrappy in the last couple of minutes. And that's nearly a nightmare moment for Jamie Young, who nearly had another two heart in mouths moments. He let it roll under and nearly roll in. And as he tried to rattle his clearance away, with a stroke of fortune, had it fly wide of his own post.
That was almost a shop of horrors, wasn't it? You could have almost played the Benny Hill music once for letting the ball run, and then queued it up again for slamming it against the Oakleigh man in Matt Dench. That was nearly quite something on multiple counts. But Jamie Young got away with it, and so all's well that ends well from a Thunder point of view. Goodness, Jamie Young wouldn't want his heart in his mouth that much again, I wouldn't think, for the rest of the night. McGilp involved. And again, Cannon's looking to surge forward themselves. Playing options to Cad in the middle. Hampson staying forward. And his foot was a fraction high. Ball there from Tom Fell. Yuki Yoshida was the player there. Had his head stooped a little to try and play the ball. So a free kick for Jamie Young. Ball over to the left. Guest making the run down the inside right channel. He's got options forward. He'll go alone for now. Got away from the attentions of Ismaili. Outside of the foot. Advancing now, Brody Boyce. He'll have a hit. And there's no trouble for Jamie Young. There's probably some trouble in the car park for one of the patrons who might have their windshield shattered after that.
Just took a bobble as he went to strike it. Boyce put the laces through it. That one sailed over.
It was something you could see coming though. As he was arriving to the ball, it's always the defenders, someone who might not have the opportunity that often. You just knew he was going to hit it, and sometimes it goes in the top corner, sometimes it doesn't. That's your luck.
Bit of a fullback's effort from Brody Boyce. Suleimani for Ismaili. Trying to work it in the channel. It's cut out by McGill. It was quickly drawn onto by Clark. Oakleigh just starting to work their way into this game. Hall. Now for Boyce. Romanovsky was quick to tend to him. Cannon's trying to work their way around Thunder. Schratt. Switched it for Hampson. He's waiting on a runner. McGilp. He then gave it back to him. Yoshida quickly there to try and close him down. Lofted over the top for Duratovic. Thunder wanted an offside. The flag stayed down. It's hooked in towards Guess again in a dangerous area. And Jamie Young quickly off his line to sweep up.
And you just see they had Van Amerongen there and Jamie Young, who were both very astutely aware of what Guess was trying. He couldn't quite make as much as he wanted, Joe Guess, but he made more out of it than most might. That's not a surprise for people who followed the league for so long. Cannons are looking for a high press on Jamie Young, which they've probably established from earlier on when a few minutes ago he let the ball run across his body and then slammed it into Matt Dench, and it would have been two comical own goals, whichever one had gone wrong if it had gone wrong, but it didn't. Of course, not two own goals, it would have been worth one, but you see my point. Two instances where it could have gone wrong. And Amerongen. And over for Mercy Mehmeti, the former Melbourne City NPL talent. Taylor making the run, or trying to ghost him behind. It didn't go to him. And Thunder will now have to get bodies back with Dench driving forward and Suleimani opposed to him. And Thunder with bodies back on terms. And Suleimani in the road to disrupt the ball intended for Kingsley Sinclair.
It's good recovery from Suleimani as well. Dench had room to go into. Just how quickly they have been able to recover when the Cannons have wanted to go in transition has been so important to Dandenong Thunder preserving this lead. That's a teasing ball. And maybe, just maybe, Oakleigh can find themselves with a bit of joy. Kasumovic looked to stand one up. Young read it and watched it all the way. Provided a safe pair of hands. It's much better from Oakleigh. Guest getting into a pocket. Works it back for McGill. And it's the first time they've really had room to get across into the area. Wasn't a bad effort from Kasumovic. Going there to claim. Edwards. Suleimani. For Ismaili. Again trying to launch one over the top for Clark to run onto. A slip has invited Taylor, who's got Romanovsky on the left side. Yoshida is going down the line for him. Romanovsky standing up, Boyce. And switching one for Suleimani, who had options in the middle. That's an important clearance from Trapp. had to get himself in the way. Soleimani to start again. Decker was down the line, but he took a slip. And it just allowed Hampson to clear his lines, only as far as Van Amerongen. Thunder happy to reset again.
It's a good play, wasn't it? The crossfield ball to find Soleimani. Just try and find multiple avenues in. It looked as though on the eye that Ali Soleimani wasn't sure whether to cross or shoot, and his disposal of the ball was somewhere in between. Maybe a bit more definitive than you have either a goal there or an assist maybe. Or at least a better chance than what ended up being. And I'm wrong in. And all the way back for Jamie Young. Over 250 club career appearances in Australia for the former England youth international. Let's turn around the corner. Clocks off after it again. Doing well to get back Jordan Hall. It's rolled forward. Yuki Yoshida is in! It's 2-0 Thunder! And Oakleigh are thunderstruck! Yuki Yoshida doubles the lead and gives the Cannons some problems.
Once again they go direct, and once again it is Clark who times his run to perfection. The takedown is terrific, but the composure just to wait that ball for Yoshida to come onto. And with the form he's been in, it was almost inevitable. Rattled it into the bottom corner. And Thunder have two, and Oakleigh have got problems.
So Oakleigh are thunderstruck. Are they on the highway to hell as well? 2-0. And again, we've seen this now from the Thunder a couple of times. You were here against Altona. You were here against Preston. They start well and they blitz you, and it's whether Oakleigh have got something in reserve.
It really is a question of just how strong the arsenal the Cannons have got is. They now need at least two just to draw themselves level against the side who know this ground oh so well, who know exactly how to draw teams in. Young just got away with it to find Romanovsky, who's now got room to roam. Instead of blazing away, tries to check himself back. Mehmeti, Taylor, Van Amerongen. Out the other way for Ismaili. Spearing ball for Romanovsky. To Taylor again, Mehmeti. Pressed hard in the channel for Clark. In fact, Decker has made it work and has lofted it over beautifully. 2 in a minute and the Thunder have 3. It's a delightful Decker chip. Oakleigh switched off, didn't track the run, thought it was for Clark, and all of a sudden their problems have deepened and Dandenong Thunder have yet more delight.
How good was that from Wade Decker? He came from out of nowhere, and the finish over the top of an on-rushing Jack Warshawski was sublime. There's plenty of Dandenong Thunder fans who've seen this club through the good and the bad. They've had a couple of lean years, but this year they may be wondering, when does this good time end? Because they have had some unreal few weeks, and this might be the most impressive few minutes they've played, maybe aside from the Preston game. They're showing what they're capable of, and good luck if you're any team having to face them from here on in. 3 shots on target, 3 goals. That's not a bad way to go about things, and it's a recipe for success.
And Oakleigh, having just conceded a second, hit with a quick 1-2 punch, find themselves 3 down and with it all to do against the Thunder side, who are now well and truly in the mood. We'll talk about a night of spot fires. Ismaili and Duratovic just coming across to say good evening to each other.
And you just think, when a team falls in a slump like this, you think, okay, how can they get themselves out of it? If needed, you've got reinforcements off the bench later on. But with the 11 that are currently out there, how can they get themselves in the game? The front three for Oakleigh. And their attacking players haven't really had much to go off. Juratovic has been quiet. Kasumovic likewise. Guest hasn't been able to get into the game. On the ball here, but worried out of it. Looks like they're bringing a couple to him every time he's near the ball. As Taylor then lost out. Maybe an opportunity now for Adam Juratovic. Guest will work it across. Kasumovic from range. It's blocked. But the whoops that Oakleigh have been much like that. Haven't been able to really have the opportunity to work Jamie Young. I was going to make the point before the goal, actually. I've watched Jamie Young play for many years, as a lot of us have, with the level he's played at. And every time I watch him, you just think he's really composed. And tonight he hasn't really looked like that, which is rather uncharacteristic.
It is funny what a game like this can do to some players of even the highest quality, as Wade Decker, who's just scored the goal, is now down. Went into the challenge, gave away the free kick. It might have just been a nasty collision.
It looks like he's okay, which is a good sign.
Back on his feet, albeit gingerly. And McGill, who he collided with, will take the free kick. Quickly gets it back from Tratt. Hall. Oakleigh are aside searching for answers right now. McGill. Trying to tease it down the line for Juratovic. Ismaili just nipped in ahead of him. And that has been the difference at the moment. The Thunder have won those second balls. They've just been a touch quicker than the Cannons. And that was also exemplified in Wade Decker's goal.
Quite literally quicker in that sense. Those that may be thinking that Wade Decker might have lost a yard, he's not showing it. Turn around the corner, smartly by Juratovic. And a good challenge in to thwart any Cannons advances from there. Another corner for Oakleigh. Joe Guest over to take. Can he make his impact felt here? A handy player to have over a dead ball. Send it in towards a penalty spot. Hampson couldn't work it around, goal bound. And behind for the goal kick.
Worked that corner routine a few times, targeting Hall and Trapp. Hampson on that occasion, he wouldn't have got the cleanest connection. Both Oakleigh fullbacks now just had a look, and the two half chances, both have gone begging for the Cannons, who are trying to work their way back into this game. They need to find some sort of spark. It's Miley. With a thumping clearance. Track got up. Decker tried to turn it around the corner for Clark. It's well cut out by Boyce. This ball back for Trapp, a touch heavy. McGill. Round the corner for Hampson. Yoshida, who had just pressed McGill, then went to close the door on Hampson. McGill now. Can Oakleigh craft their way back into this game? Teasing ball towards Guest, who cut out Ismaili's clearance the first time, and he's happy to hook it away the second. Tratt. Pressed by Decker, that ball down the line for Hampson, who hadn't advanced that far. And it's just those little bits of frustration, maybe still those little bits of shock of the first 25 minutes that Oakleigh are being hit by, and it's causing those loose passes and a couple of mistakes.
When you look at it, it's two teams that have got a similar-ish blueprint to one another and that both want to press. It's the Thunder press that's working better than Oakleigh's at the moment. And that's been one of many reasons why the Thunder find themselves 3 up. Just doing the little things that bit better than the Oakleigh contemporaries. Sends him low towards the front post, flicks home. And there's one of them back. It's a long road back for Oakleigh, but it has started with Adam Juratovic at the front post. Goes in front, and Oakleigh's number 11 has goal number 3 in his season.
Tidy finish from Juratovic. It's a lovely ball in from Dench. Drilled low and hard, nobody can really come for it. Juratovic just nips in ahead of them all, gets a touch on it, and that's all it needed. Clever, poachers-like finish, and Oakleigh have an interest. Half an hour gone where they conceded 3. They now have one back, and maybe, just maybe, might be posing a couple of questions of Dandenong Thunder. They needed an avenue back. Has Juratovic just provided that? Mehmeti tried to spear one towards Yoshida. Hampson urging Wachowski. That's the goal that they needed. Having been hit seriously hard by Dandenong Thunder, Oakleigh now have just got themselves an opening. Van Amerongen. One in ahead of Juratovic, but maybe a bit too over-eagerly.
Take a free kick towards Kasumovic. There's a handball in there. Few words for who? Guderian, our fourth official from Adam Piddick. His pleasure about some of the treatment his players were receiving. Oakleigh could be in again. Hampson, Guest, and Juratovic in the box. Guest tried to flick on, falls for Kasumovic. Sure, he's dragged it. This is a half of 2 halves. Oakleigh, after being hemmed in for so long and 3 goals back, are on their way back and in some way.
Big chance as well for Kasumovic. It opens up nicely for him. He just drags his shot a little bit at the last minute. That's a let-off for Dandenong Thunder, who, having just conceded, were carved open again. Neither Guest nor Juratovic could get a touch.
I tell you what, how different a game does this feel if that one goes in at 3-2? We've spent all this time praising the Thunder, and rightly so. And it's a 1-goal game if that one is an inch the other side of the post.
It might still be the chance for a 1-goal game. Kasumovic searching. Dench now tasked to keep it alive. Rolls it back for Hampson. Tries to stand one up. Taylor's clearance, not quite as strong. Edwards doing the dirty work, cleaning up. Oakleigh shouts for a penalty, waved away. Aidan Edwards playing with fire. And Yoshida sliding in to thump one away. But that was another heart-in-mouth moment for the Thunder.
Wouldn't mind another look at it. Oakleigh were convinced. He put himself in a really good position, Tom Fell, to make the call, and he made it definitively and quickly, as they could be in again here, Oakleigh. Dench off after it, Young sweeping up. You haven't seen this, aside from the Jamie Young moment early in the first half, but otherwise they've kept the door slammed shut, the Thunder. The duration of this first half to present, but now Oakleigh are starting to find ways through. Hall, Stratz, over for Hampson. He has Dench further on. He'll hold towards Guest, they'll be crowded out. Got up. Now for Taylor, who's touch allowed Sinclair in. Kingsley Sinclair driving forwards. He's well marshalled in the end by Sebden Ismaili, but he couldn't prevent the concession of a corner. Cannons come again. The guest over to take again. Plenty of options to try and pick out. Floats it in, back post. Didn't get much on it. And in the corner, up to try and land the hand was Jacob Schratz. Trying to play again.
It's the first time that Guest has given any depth to that corner. He was looking for Hampson. But the first few have been at that front post, so maybe Oakleigh are looking at a different switch up in their set piece routines to try and get the late runners involved at the back post and knot it down into a dangerous area. They sense it, the Thunder and Nervy. Taken again. Flipped on by Suleimani. Away by Yoshida. Decker to give chase. Gets in ahead of McGill. Just happy to hook it away, but Dandenong Thunder in the last 10 minutes just cannot get out. Oakleigh are pressing hard. They sense a chance to get back into this game.
It's Oakleigh doing to the Thunder what the Thunder were doing to them, really, isn't it?
Absolutely is. Edwards with a late lunch. And a free kick. If they were to get one more just before half time, you never know. You never, ever know.
If you get a one-goal game with 45 minutes to play, you're almost at square one again. Which, when you consider from 3-0 down, isn't bad going at all. Not Oakleigh out at your peril, even if they are 3-0 down, I suppose.
Jamie Young organising his wall. A guest free kick, a surging one in. Mehmeti with the all-important header. Once again, just to clear their lines and see out another cannon charge. It's away to Yoshida. Waiting on his runners. Yuki Yoshida might go on him all on his own. Has 3 for company, got away from Boyce, who had to bring him down. That was excellently done by Yuki Yoshida, just to release some pressure and get Thunder up the pitch.
He's been that kind of player, hasn't he, in red and black, Yuki Yoshida. Someone that, right from the first game of the season against Green Gully, has shown himself to be a fan favourite. Remarkably skillful. It's put down the line from Mehmeti. Drake Romanovsky from Clark. Taylor stepping in. The first touch, Romanovsky twisting and turning on himself. So helps him out from the working in a phone box for a split second there, but got out of there. Clip forward from Mehmeti. But Yuki Yoshida, who sliced at it, might work to the back post. Clark's there, and Oakleigh will get it away. That would have been a slice of fortune if that cross works out. And it very almost did. Down the line it goes. Dench with Dracic furthers forward. It's an early ball looking for him. Slipping was Edwards. Still looks a one-sided scoreline, but this game has changed a fair bit since that goal. Doesn't feel like the Thunder are 3-1 up at the moment, but they are. Over for Dench, who again will go early. And Young was all over that.
Oakleigh are pressing seriously hard. That chance, the first that Thunder have carved out since their 3rd goal. Oakleigh have fought their way back into this game. If they were to get a second before half-time, it would set us up for a blockbuster second half. Young's ball long. Decker the beneficiary. Clark picks it up. Tried to wriggle away from 2. His ball for Yoshida. Only found Dench. Yoshida then won it back. Edwards. Taylor. Thought about the advantage, but it'll be pulled back. Free kick for the Thunder in a promising position. McGill just left one in on Yuki Yoshida. Smiley. Van Amerongen all the way home for Young. Thunder not choosing to load it into the area. Mehmeti. Slips one with a lot of airtime into the channel. Romanovsky giving boys something to think about, but he did brilliantly just to nod it back to Wachowski.
You mentioned there, Thunder not going long into the penalty area. There's only one reason for that, and that was Jamie Young. Not sure if he'd been able to pick it up, but he was quarterbacking that free kick. As Sheeda stepped back in. Taylor rolling forward, Sheeda back to goal, turning, shooting off the bar. No, the Decker. They've got a second look at it. Offside flag is up, and it won't count. Thunder close to a fourth, and it was almost a double Decker.
Nearly another piece of Yoshida magic as well. The bar, the only thing stopping them from reinstating a 3-goal lead. Mehmeti. Shame the flag went up. Decker caught that second volley, sweet. Van Amerongen. All the way back for Jamie Young. As we enter the final minute of a truly enthralling first half at George Andrews. Smiley. Young, just taking their time. Edwards. Saw the press from Sinclair. Back for Ismaili. Tried to loft it for Clark. Suleimani, beaten by Hampson. And maybe Oakleigh could get one more to make this interesting. Lofted towards Kasumovic, who got away from all of them. A slice of fortune. Saratovic still giving press. Romanovsky away. Back by McGill. Hooked in by Boyce. Suleimani now has Yoshida, who could go on the charge. Tratt has got to keep him for company. Yoshida is looking to go round the outside. But Hampson expertly came alongside him for recovery to shut the door on Yuki Yoshida, who wanted to go on a marauding run. Kasumovic away from Mehmeti. Tried to slide it for Duratovic. Young with a bit of a stab. Finds Edwards. Suleimani. Looks like 2 added minutes we're going to get. It's Miley. Back with Jamie Young as we enter 2 minutes before half time. For a half that's given us so much, we couldn't get any more, could we? In the closing stages.
We could. It's looking like Oakleigh the more likely at the moment. They find a second. Towards Dench. He looks low. Played by Ismaili to help sort that out. And the throw one off Kingsley Sinclair. Despite the scoreline and the way it looks, I think that Chris Taylor will have a bit to work with in his half-time team talk. It's not been your typical 3-1 half of football, I wouldn't think.
Feels like a half that could very well have ended 4-3. The Thunder looking to take one for the road. Clark is bundled over by Hall. And they will have potentially one more opportunity before half-time. Daniel Clark, who was looking to turn, was bundled into. Free kick taken quickly. Ismaili gave it to Van Amerongen, then got it back. Clipped one for Suleimani. Hampson happy to see it out. Shawski with the final action of the first half we never quite wanted to end. It was brilliant from start to finish. Thunder 3 up in half an hour. They scored 2 in a matter of minutes. Oakleigh got one back quickly, and towards the end of the half looked like they might just snatch a second. This game is far, far from over. A lot of attacking football on display. Chances created. In a game that took a little bit of time to open up, but when it did, it was wonderful. Half-time at George Andrews. It's Dandenong Thunder 3, Oakleigh 1. Welcome back to George Andrews for what should be a simply superb second half ahead. Just the one change to report from half-time. Alex Salmon is on. Adam Juratovic's night, having got Oakleigh Cannons a goal and got them back into this game prior to half-time, is done. Another 45 minutes. Third against fourth. It all to play for. At the moment, the Thunder are getting a crucial 3 points, but can the Cannons fire their way back into this game? Ethan Rigg and Oliver Walker-Peel. Ollie, what do you think the message would have been from both dugouts at half-time?
Probably from Chris Taylor's point of view, keep it going, which is a weird thing to say when your team's down 3-1, but the last 20 of the half, they were the better team. Adam Piddick would be probably focusing more on the second half of the half than the first, even though his team was scintillating to go 3 up. It's interesting because you can have both managers go about it 2 different ways depending on what message you want to get across. Half that you can take a lot from.
Edwards. Back from Mehmeti. Trotty's the outside of the boot for Taylor. Wanted to keep it alive for Romanovski. Lost out to Boyce. Went down the line to Kasumovic. Romanovski in retreat, making the challenge. And taken quickly, Thunder, of course, the last time they were on this ground, had a fast start to the second half. Scored within the first minute. And they're looking to do the same. Decker couldn't turn his way beyond Tratt. But they gave Sinclair one into trouble. Boyce. And clear further than Edwards. Decker is round the corner. Clark is on the march. The flag stayed down. Shawski came to clear it, and that flag eventually does go up. Daniel Clark, who flirted with the final man throughout the first half. Got one run right for the opening goal. But his first of the second is just a fraction too early. If that's anything to go by, the Thunder are going to continue to look rather direct.
And just on the Salmon change, it's one you feel needed to happen. Of course, Alex Salmon, leading marksman in this league for a long while, with Green Gully first and then Oakleigh. 8 goals this season, 15th appearance of the campaign, but just gives them something else. It gives them a name up top, which doesn't always mean anything, but Thunder defence will know what he's about, given plenty of opportunities to watch him over the years. He's been lethal, whichever club he's played for in this league. Sent high by Taylor up towards Decker, who himself has been a striker with a really good record. Continues to be. Taylor and Amarongan. Back forward, Jamie Young. He's almost shaping up to go long and then didn't. He'll eventually do, but Hampton will pay to that for now at least. Edwards will keep hold. Decker, smart ball. Yuki Yoshida's there. He'll arc a crossing back post, asking too much of Daniel Clark and Romanovski behind for a goal kick.
Just doesn't get it as sweet as he'd like. Yuki Yoshida almost tries to play it with too much depth towards Clark and Romanovski, the two who were arriving, but that ball from Decker was superb. Could have easily gone a quick return to Taylor, but it would have put them in a difficult situation. So the Thunder, having been pressed in the final 20 minutes of that first half, have come out of the second half looking to reinstate an authority on this game.
You just sense the opening 15 of this second half is going to be pretty pivotal. As Taylor took it down, it's gone against the referee. And referees at the best of times aren't everyone's best friends, coaches and players, and particularly when they inadvertently get in the way, there's nothing they can do. They'll just drop the ball back to the foot of Kyle Taylor and on they go. I do think sometimes, I do wonder, being an official, because these officials that are very good at what they do, they must have a love for it, and that's what's got them to this level. Tom Fell quitting himself very well in his first NPL Men's Victoria football. Here you go, Oakleigh. Not for very long. Edwards was well positioned. Ismaili. Forward on the right, Suleimani. Rashida's actually better placed to get to that, and neither will. Goal kick.
Just a bit too heavy. That ball into the channel. You saw Suleimani break away very, very early. Dench didn't go with him, so it gave the Thunder an overload. If he was the one to get onto it in the end, it maybe favoured Yoshida as it was hit with more pace. But a feature of their game throughout this season has been knocking it into those channels, and you can see that's where they're looking to get at Oakleigh again, and it's somewhere where they think they can get a lot of joy.
Look down the line. Towards Clark, who jumps like a trot. Kusumovic inboard. Boys kept running, and Kusumovic was fouled. Might be some shouts for a card. None forthcoming, it doesn't look like, from the pocket of Tom Fell.
Maybe a chance now for Oakleigh to get some of those centre halves forward again. From a corner, where you look to attack that near post. It's getting fizzed in narrowly, but not towards any of those who have made their way forward. It's a rather easy watch for Jamie Young. Opportunities like that in this second half, certainly early on, are the ones that the Cannons can't afford to squander. Edwards, Yoshida, let it run smartly for Suleimani. Tried to give it to Clark. Trapped with a strong challenge, and they're all flying in. Decker has bundled his way into McGill. And for that rather robust challenge, he'll go into the book.
Robust is one word to use. Unorthodox might be another. Far worthy of a card, that I reckon.
Hampson. Still trying to work their way. Salmon gave it back to Hampson. Yoshida made the challenge the first time. Dench won it back. Salmon's return ball not beyond Yuki Yoshida. So Salmon, who's worked a yard. With a teasing ball in towards Guest. Won away by Van Amerongen. Hooked away further by Suleimani. Only as far as Boyce. Edwards pinballing around, in and around the Thunder area. Salmon couldn't get it under his feet. Taylor for Decker, who slipped when he tried to take it under control. McGill. Hampson. Dench. It's a searching ball, but its only location, the hands of Jamie Young. Alex Salmon, it's worth mentioning, scored in this fixture earlier on this season, on a night where Oakleigh won 3-1. The rest of that is how we stand. Hampson. Gilp gave it back to Trapp. Boyce. Oakleigh's turn to exercise some patience against the Dandenong Thunder press. McGill, Yoshida was closing him down and was in a fraction late. Boyce. Looking down the line for Kasumovic. He's again trying to tease one towards Salmon. Mehmeti with their clearance. Clark lost out. Decker nearly got there. Trapp tried to recover. He was in a defensive position. Got away with one. Hampson now can bring it forward. Guest let it run. McGill. That's a delightful ball, but a fraction too heavy for Guest. Right ideas for Oakleigh.
By Young. Hampson up and over halfway. Doesn't need a second invitation to drive. Go. Guest. Saw something that was Swodes, but couldn't find the run. Salmon and Joe Guest have worked together a number of times on some brilliant Oakleigh goals in years gone by, but couldn't add another one to the list there. Forward Ashida, chesting down. And runners on from him with Romanovsky. He will move infield and will hit one. Straight at Warshawski.
First time it's really opened up for Romanovsky. Taylor used himself as a decoy on the overlap. Strike was hit well enough, but Warshawski was able to watch it all the way. Hampson in for Salmon. Tried to clip one for Denchby on Suleimani, who got there first, recycled it to Young. He looked for Yoshida. Hampson won the header. Smiley away, only as far as Sinclair, who gave it away to Edwards. Van Amerongen. Guest applying the press. Young with nearly a giveaway. Ricocheted off Salmon to Ismaili. Edwards. Suleimani. Van Amerongen. Thunder trying to work themselves out of trouble. Young. Searching ball for Romanovsky. Touched it down for Taylor. Edwards moved it on for Mehmeti, who gave it away. And maybe McGill and Oakleigh have an opening. Salmon was away momentarily, but Mehmeti in retreat cleared it away for a corner.
A bit sloppy there from the Thunder, trying to play out from the back, and Salmon found himself in a good position. Well, Mehmeti, as you say, did very well to get back. If not, Salmon was probably in home free, but Oakleigh will take the corner. They've got an architect over the top of it. They're building.
Will be Guest again. First two went near, the last one went with depth. It's with depth again towards Hampson, who won it up. Important flick on, but they don't clear it. Salmon up with Romanovsky. Shouts for a handball waved away. Jay Romanovsky, the quickest to react to hook it away, ever so importantly.
Yeah, that would have been a very harsh call on the Thunder, I reckon. Salmon got up, but it was a very close proximity run thing.
Boyce just slowing up Yoshida. Thunder won't mind the chance to relieve some pressure. As Oakleigh have piled it on to start this second half. As we approach the hour mark at George Andrews. Jamie Young searching for Clark, tussled with Boyce. McGill pin over Edwards. Salmon nodded it down. Edwards then read it best. Taylor nearly gave it away. Edwards slid in to keep it. Ismaili wants to go direct for Decker. Trapp won it down. Clark was the first to it. Now giving chase to Hampson. He found himself under pressure, and Daniel Clark did incredibly well. Slid in to make sure Oakleigh couldn't clear their lines. Sinclair. Gave it back, but Oakleigh will have a free kick. Clark that time a little too overeager, as they'll make another change. Asad Kasumovic's night is done. He is replaced by Tom Alessandratos.
Yeah, really good footballer, Tom Alessandratos, and was probably the brightest spark in a Port Melbourne side that had been floundering all year. Made his club debut for Oakleigh, Alessandratos, in the win over Preston, the 4-0 win. Came off the bench that night and this, but he really is a good footballer. It's the 5 goals this season, all for Port Melbourne. There's also one for Oakleigh tonight.
How he would love to get his first in Oakleigh colours and his 6th. That's a beauty of a ball from Trapp. Dench, in fact, had gone too early. Both sides being busy in the transfer window, of course. Dandenong Thunder bringing in Michael Domfet, Aguirre Manuel and Dante Avion. And Oakleigh's 2 new signings are now both out there. Jack Wachowski started in between the sticks, and Thomas Alessandratos has just made his way on. Young searching for Clark, who resumes battle with Boyce. Hot one to handle. Paul really made Wachowski work for it. His ball out was a good one. Sinclair. Just dropping deep to facilitate it. Hampson, who's been able to maraud forward as he pleases, tries to steer one into the area. Salmon made it work. Hampson has it open up. Young got down to smother it.
And he had to, didn't he? It opened up nicely for Connor Hampson, who hasn't scored as many goals this year as he has in previous. He's only got the 1, and that one was in large part to a bit of a goalkeeping mishap against Port Melbourne. But he is capable, and let's be watchful that Jamie Young he was. Like we're going to see one of those Thunder mid-season acquisitions. In a moment, maybe. Before we see Hassan Jallo come on first. Surprised that he wasn't starting tonight. Hopefully get things going. All sets in low towards Salmon, and almost got all the way through to Guest. Corner the results. Oakleigh with another decent passage of play that almost led to something.
Good challenge from Edwards. Had to slide in and take no chances with it because Guest was lurking. The ball just a bit behind Salmon, but Oakleigh are really, really knocking on the door now.
Guest in, deep ball. Young was always best placed. He's able to claim with so many around him. Looks like it'll be Wade Decker who will be taken off here. A decent night for him against his former club. That's one of the 3 Thunder goals. Long ball for Wade Decker to chase. There's a lot asked of him. Got there. Find the way out, Jordan Hall. Advancing now is Boyce, looks down the line. And Minovsky went in. Alessandratos had it taken off him. Towards the touch line. And eventually over for a throw. Hassan Jallo about to make his introduction here for Wade Decker.
Jallow took a knock a couple of weeks ago against South Melbourne. Might have been aggravated again last week at Avondale, so left out of the starters tonight, but with the way the Thunder are going and playing a lot more directly, this favours his pace in behind. And just a fresh set of legs. Decker hadn't lost a yard, we've seen that tonight, but it's a different challenge now that Oakleigh will face until the end, as Hassan Jallow is a lot quicker on the press and a lot more nimble as well.
And he's incredibly lethal when it comes to finding the back of the net. He's got 10 of them. Some of the goals he scored this year have been astounding. If he can make it 11 tonight, you'd think the Thunder would be able to win, particularly with the position they're in now.
He might have an early opportunity. Found by Taylor. Rolled it back for Clark. Trying to work an angle. Romanovsky stood one up. Taylor and Yoshida in the middle. Important flick away. McGill. Pressed by Clark, got away from him. And then stopped up by Romanovsky, who gave away a free kick. And Daniel Clark has just remained down.
To find a way up, Daniel Clark, and then sat down. Thunder with plenty of reinforcements on the bench. They'd be hoping to not have to call on another one so immediately after bringing Jallow on. Doesn't look like there's immediate action on the bench. Jordan Hall. Boyce. It's sent on. Coming towards Joe Guest. There's a milestone weekend coming up for him very soon. 150 appearances in the NPL Men's Victoria is on the horizon. This is number 145 for him tonight. Of course, there's plenty of wiggle room in case of potential injury given where Oakleigh are in the table. They'd be going on the regulation 26, you would think. It would be a travesty from here if they didn't. So over towards Hampson. Dench and Salmon to Kerwan, deflected on the way through. Ismaili got a boot there. And Young was able to get onto the end. Oakleigh have their own injury concern.
The touch nearly hindered rather than helped Jamie Young, didn't it? Seemed to pick up pace, but was able to see it all the way. It wasn't a significant enough deflection to worry him. Kyle Taylor and Yuki Yoshida just taking this opportunity to have a drink.
Kingsley Sinclair. Helped off. And we'll see another from change coming here.
Why are you making something when he's not ready?
He's ready, mate.
Well, he's not ready.
He's not. No problem.
No one's ready for some.
Opportunity for the alteration. Michael Dunphy is on
Get some
in
training.
place of Daniel Clark. Dunphy, in his second Thunder appearance, scored twice while on the books at Hume. Was signed with a fair bit of fanfare after a quality season with Northcote City in VPL 1 last time around, where he scored 16 goals. The team out of John Kay Memorial Park hasn't quite hit his straps at the top level though.
Plenty of time to change that in Dandenong. His first home game tonight. His first outing at George Andrews. No better time to get off the mark for your new club than on a night like this, where the Thunder are still 3-1 ahead, but Oakleigh are pressing ever closer. They try to press Young and then Edwards. Smiley try to hook one in the channel for Yoshida, or Domfe to give chase to. Edwards tried to wriggle his way around two, and Sinclair has won a free kick as a result. You can hear what the Thunder bench think of that. Salmon got it from Sinclair. Now McGill. Trapped. Can Oakleigh find themselves an opening? Jallo is hot on the press of Trapp. Maybe a bit too hot. He's in a hurry. That is a spearing ball for Alessandratos, who's given it down the line for Boyce. Trying to rattle one away. It might benefit Alessandratos, who stood it up towards Dench. Hampson to return it with height. One away, only as far as Boyce, who drove one. And Young had to leap, but wasn't called into more serious action.
That one, a better sighter than the one he had in the first half, it's fair to say. Same result of it going over the bar, but Brody Boyce chancing the leg to try and find something. Hasn't found an NPLMVIC Victoria goal in his career yet, this appearance number 74. Hampson over towards Dench. And good for Oakleigh tonight going forward. Trying to move away from Suleimani. He'll loft one in. Be headed away by Van Amerongen. Taken out by Sinclair. And Shida able to get it away. Tratz. And McGill. Hampson. Tried to get it back on the 1-2, didn't work. Jallo. Wanted a Shida. Had so much time, and too much time it proved out. McGill on for Salmon, first time, and dealt with by Van Amerongen, out for a throw.
Just playing with fire at the moment, Dandenong Thunder. Hassan Jallo had options left and right. He just took too long to find Yoshida. Maybe should have tried to release him a little bit earlier, give him something to run onto. Puts him with height. Puts away, fired back in. That is an absolute beauty. Glorious goal to get Oakleigh back into this game. Kingsley Sinclair with a searing hit.
Might not have hit any sweeter than that. That's an absolute peach. From 3-0, the Cannons are 2/3 of the way back. And halfway back if they're thinking of 3 points. What a hit. Sinclair is third of the season. That is a postage stamp effort. That had Jamie Young rooted to the spot. What are you doing for the next quarter of an hour? Clear your plans if you've got something else on. Stay glued to the television because this is going to be a very good watch. Van Amerongen looking for Domfe. Continues to try. Well defended in the end by Jordan Hall. At least at first glance. The Thunder have got it back though. But not for long, Romanovsky. Making it come unstuck. Van Amerongen. Always sent down the line. And that's catching practice for someone in the crowd.
Score for Oakleigh has been coming as well. This second half, they've had the better of the chances. They've dominated the possession. Thunder have been looking to go more and more direct on the counter, and the Cannons have been sending wave after wave of attack. They've been bombarded, and finally they got their just reward with an absolute corker.
Hampson went in low, and it almost broke for Oakleigh. Yoshida getting in, couldn't keep hold. McGill and Hampson. Plenty of Oakleigh numbers staying forward. It's to the front post, and the flick from Salmon was deft as anything. He was offside though, so it wouldn't have counted, but my words. How easy did Alex Salmon make that look? Yoshida in a little bit of trouble maybe. He's back up.
And not just the flick from Salmon, even if it wouldn't have counted, what a save from Jamie Young to get a touch on that. Salmon flashed it across at the near post. Young just to tip that away for what would have been a corner had it counted. A great reflex save.
That's one if you're the goalkeeper and you want to build your highlight reel. You just mute the commentary and keep the camera footage away from the assistant referee so no one knows it was offside. That way it maintains some level of validity. Dench combining with Salmon. And that's how the play off Matthew Dench was a little bit unlucky. Not that Jamie Young, by the way, needs any more saves to add to a highlight reel. He's got about 20 years worth of footage to go through.
Wealth of experience. Keeper is aging like fine wine. And with a quarter of an hour to go, this game has done the same. We've got a thriller at the Thunder. And Oakleigh are trying to fire themselves level. Dench. Down the line for Sinclair. Couldn't get away from Edwards, who just lofted it towards Yoshida. Trapp was the first one there. Boyce. Whips it wide for Dench again. With another teasing ball in, Van Amerongen had to get up. Could only nod it away for a corner. Guess to take. Fizzed in low. Trapp got there ahead of them all. Completely unmarked, stole a yard. Didn't drop for him favourably. And his touch went into touch. A little bit of a let-off for the Thunder.
It was Dench who was there, sprawling to try and make something of it after Trapp had got there. Did well to steal in, actually, Jacob Trapp. Even if it wouldn't quite work for him. Romani to take the throw. Okay. Towards Domfe. Yoshida almost got the over the green. With action down below. Thunder bench about to be operational again. It's on by Salmon, and then so by Dench. Was trying to keep it away from Guest. He did that. Anna Morongan will take the better safe than sorry approach, but it looks like he had a bit more time than to make such a quick call. About 10 to go here. Guest going over went McGill. Whistle. Penalty. Just inside the box. There was a wait to see which side of the line it was. McGill went over, no doubt it was a foul. A question over where. And it's an Oakleigh spot kick to complete the comeback from 3 down.
Oh my word. What are we watching here?
I'll tell you what we're watching. We're watching a very good game of football. We talk about writing chapters. It's Joe Guest to try and further this story. $13 this season. Can he make it number 14 and make it 3 apiece? A hush. The whistle. The spot kick. Into the corner. They were near on, down and out. They were pasted to the ropes. And Joe Guest has squared the game back up. Continuing his unbelievable run in this fixture. He's found another against the Thunder, and it's 3 each in the Ranges.
6 goals in this game, 6 in a row against the Thunder for Joe Guest. How important is that? Oakleigh have gone on the long march. They've had 2 in the second half, they've had the better of the chances, and now they are asking the questions of the Thunder. Where do we go from here? How do we end it from here? This game does not feel done yet. It's not even close.
No way is it over yet. With these two teams, there might even be more than one twist. They've seen 3 points. Surefire 3 points, it looks at 1 point. And now 1 doesn't even seem certain from the Thunder point of view. This game on a knife's edge. Helped on by John Fate. Clean ball there was Yuki Yoshida. Dench left the pass short. Soleimani side down by his former teammate Cam McGill. Easy yellow card going his way.
Was late from McGill. Was not a great challenge. He went round the back of Soleimani and clattered into him. Easy decision for the referee from Queensland, originally from Derbyshire.
Yeah. If you needed another bit of English influence in this game, if the commentary team wasn't enough for you. And English influence from the spot too, by the way, with Joe Guest. Not quite a full English, but there's a fair bit of English about this game. Free kick for Oakleigh. Yoshida wasn't taking a path around Connor Hampson. Is there a 7th goal in this? The neutrals will be hoping so. Warshawski took a slip. Romanovsky. And Taylor. This was billed as the match of the round, and the match of the round is what we've got. Romanovsky, free of his man. Options arriving in the middle. Jay Romanovsky. Had the chance to cross, didn't. Then he did. Stood it up high. Was in the direction of Domfey and behind for a corner. The last touch on Oakleigh won. And the Thunder with a chance from a set piece to maybe get that lead back.
Very good patience from Romanovsky. Could have blazed away on his left check back, waited for more runners just to crowd that area a little bit more. And it's resulted in a corner for the Thunder and maybe a chance.
Had the Thunder fans at his back too, wanting him to cross. Well to hold out. Left-footed corner. It's not out. It was drawn up on the training track. That one's going to go back to the training ground, which, to be fair, is here. Messi, not his best work there.
A little bit wasteful. When they've been under the pump to work an opportunity like that, you've got to at least give somebody a hope. It was fizzed flatly towards that near post. Boyce. Paul. Trapped. Pressed by Domfey. Oakleigh worked their way around that wonderfully. Teasing ball towards Salmon, but Jamie Young quickly off his line. McGill getting inventive. 5 minutes plus stoppage time then. Who wants to go and win it? In a game that has had it all. Young, long for Domfey. Taylor and McGill doing battle. Mehmeti hooking it anywhere. Domfey might have this work out for him. Got up to flick it down towards Yoshida, who had two around him. Edwards. Ismaili. Edwards took a tumble. Van Amerongen. Maybe even one goal at this point in time might not be a winner. Ismaili couldn't find Suleimani. Dench for Sinclair. He speared it for Alessandro Artos. Edwards nodded it on. Ismaili only as far as McGill. Hampson. With another standing ball to the back post. Too long for Alessandro Artos to keep in.
A change for the Thunder on the way. Maybe two of them. Daniel is one. Daniel Alessi is another. Free kick. Away for Oakleigh. Daniel, formerly of the Western Suburbs and Brimbank, as that's sent away by Aidan Edwards. Alessi in season number 2 at the club. I just wonder with the changes what the thought process is. Alessi more defensive. Daniel more attacking. Ali Suleimani's off. So 2 is Septim Ismaili. The contingent of academy graduates takes a hit here, at least in the 11 out there. Seven goals for North Geelong for Manuel in 2025 before the move. A shrewd signing. How will he be utilised with the Thunderbacks against the wall? McGill. Boyce was Alessandro Artos. Boyce back in, kept it in. Guest. Alessandro Artos there. Cut back towards Salmon. Taking over was Boyce. Oakleigh in waves. There, players queuing up there. And there's a potential concern. Just making the switches. Piddick might be wishing that he might have held on another minute. Not that he can do anything about that, though. You don't plan for injury stoppages. Not all the time, anyway.
Looks like we're going to get 4 minutes of added time.
Got one.
5. Was 4, maybe, before Taylor went down.
Yep.
And there it is, into 5 final minutes. Boyce teasing, Guest flicking. Oakleigh wanted a corner. Thunder will get a goal kick.
Very well assessed, by the way. It was initially 4, and then the late change. The second game I've seen that happen to today. It happened at Langwarren earlier on, where you go with the number that's on the board, and then there's an injury right at the end of the half, and it changes. It happens. So we're into the first of 5. McGill barged over fairly. Romanovsky, Rashida, trying to find a way through Kingsley Sinclair. Salmon was off. A few Bronx cheers from the Thunder fans. They were cheering in a more direct and positive manner earlier on when their team were 3 up. That's not the case now. McGill, he's barged over. That's a foul. Dench. Stratz. Hampson in a bit of space. He's onside. And he's infield. In the box. Chance for Connor Hampson to win it. And he couldn't. Slipped at the crucial moment. And the chance, as such, went by him.
And it's non-favoured as well, the left back. But is that their moment? Or can Oakleigh carve another chance at a winner? Young towards Donfair. Might bounce favourably for him. Him and Boyce sliding in, Thunder throw. Where on earth do we go from here? Matter of minutes to find a winner. Mehmeti in the channel for Jallo. One on by Tratt. Thumping clearance. Salmon to press Van Amerongen. Gave it away towards McGill. Wriggled away from Romanovsky. Boyce just belted it away. Mehmeti. McGill kept it rolling. Hampson is on the march. He's got Dench up with him. Hampson tried to slide it through. That is an all-important interception. And a great ball to find Yoshida, who was spun away and rolled it on for Romanovsky. Recycled it back to Yoshida. Alessi. Young. Back for Alessi. Trying to clip it for Donfair in the channel again. His flick on only for Hampson. McGill. Manuel was on his heels. Speared towards Dench again. Alessi's not. Edwards slid in. It's a wonderful challenge and then is dragged back by Dench, who is in on Manuel as well.
Is there time enough? Probably a minute to go. Ball was moving for Young. High from Young. Towards the edge of the box. Don't play with the flick. Jallo nodding down. Yell. For Rashida. Run for him. Edwards. Taylor. Can the Thunder find something here? All sent in. It was blocked. trying to work something. Wojciechowski is down. He's not going to be a popular man around these parts. And treatment is called for. Tell you what, handy for the thoughts of Jovan Jevđenić, the backup goalkeeper for Oakleigh. Could you just put yourself in his shoes for a split second? Hasn't made a top flight appearance in the NPLMVIC Victoria competition. Wojciechowski needing treatment. Is the backup goalkeeper going to need to be required? What a spot for him, if he is. You'd imagine that Wojciechowski will be fine, and he is. And so it'll be a long throw into the middle. Where's Rory Delap when you need him? The ball to be sent in. They're teeing up to go along here. Bounced in front of Domfe. Romanovsky will win the throw. How much time do we have? Eyes go to Tom Fell. We are at his discretion now. Edwards. Ball sent in here. A high one. Couple went up at it. Wojciechowski was flapping at it. Those in red and black stay forward. It was on the hit for Taylor. There's the full-time whistle. It's a point for each. It'll be 2 drop for the Thunder and 1 gain for Oakleigh, given where the game was. The Thunder raced out of the blocks. The 3rd time we've seen them do it here. The 2 times previous, they'd romped to victories. 3rd time, unlucky for those from George Andrews. Oakleigh's fight back was supreme, and it has got them a point. The first half, they were brilliant, the Thunder. It was Decker, it was Clark, and it was Ashida who ran riot, the 3 of them. But goals in the first half first to Jurotovic. In the end, it was Guest from the spot. After Sinclair got the one in the middle, it was a belter, that one from Kingsley Sinclair. That penalty ended up being the final important save. Full time from George Andrews reserve, it's finished. Dandenong Thunder 3, Oakleigh Cannons 3, Ethan Rigg. Make sense of it, please.
What a game. What an unbelievable game. And both teams will be wondering, where on earth do we go from here after that? Oakleigh threw everything at it. It was a chance to go 3rd. The Thunder, in the end, were clinging on in a game that half an hour in, it looked like they might be dominating. The end to a brilliant, brilliant night of football. A game that had it all, that had drama, intrigue, it had everything but a winner. And at the end of it, the only way to summarise it is we are where we started, in the most dramatic way possible. These teams on the night, inseparable. Full-timer George Andrews, a superb game in the southeast. Dandenong Thunder 3, Oakleigh Cannons 3.